All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone while and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abab. So with all the new information of these prophecies coming, and passing, and even getting closer, some of them, like the implantable microchip becoming mandatory, that draws closer. But as we saw, in the UK, they've got new terror laws, and so we have to walk accordingly in the way we speak, being wise and men of prudence. All right, it says in Matthew 10, verse 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, which sheep are naturally gentle creatures. They're not violent. All right, wolves are violent, and that's talking about the world, They want to tear us apart. They want to kill us because of the prophecy we hold. Be ye therefore wise as serpents. All right, don't be ignorant to the device of the devil, the so-called white man, and how he uses the 2/3 reprobates to promote his agenda. It says, and harmless as doves, which all we doing is sitting around, patiently waiting, enduring this suffering as we testify of what we witness. All right? We pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're sighing and crying because of the shit that we witness, the abominations that are committed in the midst of Jerusalem under the watch of the Edomites. And we're prophesying that Yahushai is going to return and judge this world. All right? Now that word wise, it's connected to another scripture. Let me pull it up. It says wise. I'm going to let me grab it. It says, oh yeah, let me go to the root word. And then it is 1 Corinthians 14 verse 20. Brethren, be not children in understanding. Right? Be growing in your understanding, maturing in your understanding. Howbeit, in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men. So, we're not supposed to be violent men, okay, committing evil. All we're supposed to do is wait in our understanding that we're going to be given the heathen. All right? But now, condemning these heathen, hey, fuck them. All right? Fuck these heathen. Starting with the so-called white man, Esau Edom. Hey, fuck him. Okay? You don't have to be afraid of him. All right? Don't be afraid of his sayings, his rough speeches, bringing forth these draconian laws, which has been prophesied. It says in Isaiah 59, Salakia 54. Let me go to Isaiah 54. All right. It says, no weapon, verse 17, that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. So these crackers, these Edomites, these filthy slime buckets are coming up against us. All right. They're bringing forth their draconian laws to try to oppress us. All right. Persecute us, which is all part of prophecy, which you can't do nothing against the truth, only for the truth. All right. But we're to condemn them as they rise up against us. Once again, Isaiah 54 and 17. No weapon, including the fucking so-called white man, starting with their fucking elite. I don't give a fuck how powerful they think they are, how much blood they drink, how many abominations they commit, how many human sacrifices to these demons they do. Those demons answer to our power, Yahweh, and his son Yahushai. All right, so we have the right to condemn you, devils. The Lord rebukes you. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. See, so we don't have to be afraid as these devils, start to show their horns. All right. Jeremiah 30, which we know is going to lead into Jacob's trouble, which is really going to be when they make that implantable microchip mandatory. It says in Jeremiah 30:7, Allah's, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he, meaning the body of Yahushai, shall be saved out of it. Verse 10, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. All right, so the Lord's going to rise up for us. And what's happening is they're being roused up, the Edomites, and they're going to rouse Jacob in a war. All right, this is Jacob's trouble. All right, and it's going to be a brutal race war in America. All right, and it's going to end up with Esau in slavery, the so-called white man, after the destruction of America, the nuclear destruction of America as it's been prophesied. Now it says, let me see. Yep, right here it says in verse 15 of Obadiah, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And that's what I was saying about these, so-called immigration invasion. Hey, that's the same thing you did to the northern kingdom when you came and took this land. When you stole this land, you invaded. You so-called Caucasians, right? You Edomites, you invaded this land, whether it was North America, South America, the Caribbeans, Central America, right? And you slaughtered, you raped, you robbed, you murdered the northern kingdom of Israel. And then you enslaved the southern kingdom, right? And brought them here on slave ships. All right, so you're going to have to pay for all these things that you've done. You're not going to get away. You're not going to be able to kill us and bury us and hide us and it just be washed under the rug. You're going to have to face the consequences, Edom, and you other nations. It says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, which is Israel, right? They've rejoiced in having us in slavery and tortured us in our low state. So shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Talking about Esau, Edom. All right, after the 1,000 years of slavery, which all these heathen are going to have to face under the Israelites being so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. All right, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, is going to be made extinct, according to Isaiah 14:21. It says in Obadiah 17, but upon Mount Zion, pertaining to the Israelites, starting with the prophets, shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. All right, so when you go into that word fire and flame, fire, it says fire, flames, supernatural fire, right? God's anger, which we're going to have the power to pretty much punish our enemy. But when it says a flame, It says tip of weapon, point, head of spear, right? Which you would use a spearhead to stir a fire. Just like now, when you have a fireplace, you have metal objects that you stir the fire so it doesn't go out, but in fact, it ignites more. And that's what's happening. All right? We're actually stirring up Esau because the devil is finding out that we know who we are. We're remembering ourselves as is prophesied. All right? And they're being revealed just as it was prophesied. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, which the Israelites lost who they were, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which we've been scattered throughout the whole entire world, that man of sin be revealed, and that man of sin be revealed, the so-called white man, the son of perdition, which is America going to go into destruction, and America is the kingdom of the so-called white man, and they're going to go into slavery as well. I'm sorry, go into destruction. Let me say that again. The kingdom of the so-called white man is going to be destroyed forever, and the Edomite himself is going to be destroyed forever. So I'm going to go to Revelation 17, and it says, verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven, which is America, which came out of the British, the UK head of the European Union, and goeth into perdition, which they're going to be destroyed. All right, America is going to melt with nuclear heat, all right, which is the kingdom of the so-called white man. And then Isaiah 14 and 21, all right, the so-called white man himself is going to be made extinct. Isaiah 14 and 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his sons, right? And we're doing that by telling you about your judgment for the iniquity of the father of their fathers, which you've done unto us, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. So the Lord don't want you multiplying. You're going to go extinct under the Israelites, all right? Back to Obadiah, it also says this in here about Esau. It says, right here, well, I didn't finish it. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, the so-called white man, for stubble, which is going to ignite this race war, and they shall kindle in them, which we're waking up to this truth, even though we're enslaved under the so-called white man, and devour them, which eventually we're going to rule. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. So there ain't nothing these fucking Edomites could do about it. They could throw more money than they dreamed about, about it at the Lord, and they're not going to be able to do nothing about it. They even got these weapons that the Lord gave them, and that's not even going to save them, all right? It tells you in 2 Ezra 13, they're going to shoot these missiles at the Lord, these weapons, and he's not even going to flinch. It says in 2 Ezra 13, verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, which this is the armies of these elite, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he set out of his mouth, right? He's going to command this chariot to shoot out fire, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. So out of the center, and they show you in the movie. I got it on my phone here. See, out of the mouth of that cherry at the bottom, it's gonna shoot fire down upon the armies of these heathen. All right. It says. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, which is the armies of the elite, right? The banker wars. They got these armies that they're joining together and trying to fight Yahushai, right? They're going to be melted. They're going to be turned to dust. It says, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So there ain't nothing the Edomite could do to change the prophecy. All right, they're gonna try their best, right? Because he's a cursed man. The so-called white man is going to be made extinct right along with his kingdom. All right? And this is after 1,000 years of slavery under the Israelite. All right? This is the judgment for the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian, and they're going to go into that. They're going to drink of that cup of slavery, and then they're going to be made extinct. There's no changing it. All right, they cannot change this prophecy. They're going to try. All right. Let me see here. Ezekiel 35. The Lord said he's going to make you desolate. 35. It says, verse 14, it says, thus saith the supreme power Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. Because under the Israelites' reign, after that 1,000 years of slavery, the other nations are going to rejoice under us because they're going to be able to prosper. We will always be on top, ruling over them. All right, but they're going to rejoice because we are the righteous. All right, it says, I will make thee desolate, so you're going to become extinct. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, right? You think you could just fucking slaughter us, take our land, right? Take our identity, rub it in the mud, right? Speak all this blasphemy against our power Yahweh and his son Yahushai and his angels and his tabernacle. You think you could do all this and get away with it? You think your little bullshit ass draconian laws could stop the Almighty's word from going out? You're a fool to go to war against your own creator. All right, the Lord's going to punish you, wicked, the so-called white man, and even these 2/3 reprobates that are in America that are for the so-called white man. You're going to be put to death in your unrighteousness, in your unfaithfulness. The unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. 2 Ezra 15. But now Ezekiel 35 verse 15. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. And also I want to say this too. You other nations, you're going to get punished too, because, Moab, Ammon and Moab, hey, those are the biggest lenders to America to keep it functioning, knowing that we're the Israelites and they have us in slavery. All right, so all you heathen, all of you that are in bed, which is all of you, with this Edomite, you're going to be punished for it. All right, and that's according to prophecy. That's why it's upon all the heathens' heads. because you got these past times to pay for, but also this present time and the future, what you're going to do against the Israelites. But you're going to be very violent towards the Israelites, but it's going to end with you in slavery. It says in verse 15, it says, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir. Mount Seir is talking about the land of the Edomite, the so-called white man, also known as the Idumean, which is Edom in Greek. And all Idumea, even all of it, which America is the land of Idumea today, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, because we're telling you who's going to do it. So at the end, when you're made extinct, hey, the Lord is going to be glorified, because Yahweh has been magnified, as well as his son's name, Yahweh Shai. All right, so when all this is done, everyone's going to know, and he's going to have that fame, that infamy of being a righteous judge, all right, austere and righteous in his judgment of destroying the wicked, even the 2/3 reprobates of the nation of Israel that refused to recognize his authority. All right? But we don't have to be afraid, brethren. The Lord already promised us that he's going to save us and our children from from the land of our oppression. So whether we live or whether we die, it's going to be all right. All right? But have hope, hope for the best, but prepare your soul to be tried, even unto death. And you shall receive a crown of life, like he promised. Yahweh has promised, and he wrote it in the blood of Yahweh Shai. So endure, brothers. Shalom wa abababal.